Sek-ai Faraday, the young lady who calls herself the second Yatagarasu. The piece of cloth that she conjured up has taken me back to many years ago.
7 years earlier.
Hello there, everybody. It's my 92 again, right? What? Oh, God. Judge?
Yeah, that's right. I did it. I killed the guy.
Uh-huh.
But it was the great thief Yatagarasu that told me to do it.
I asked the defendant just what exactly are you trying to say. Hello there.
Don't you get it? I know that's right, there, the Yatagarasu.
3 new faces I've never seen before.
The Yatagarasu is the man standing over there at the prosecutor's bench. Are you saying that I'm the Yatagarasu? Don't you dare deny it. You told me to kill him when you snuck into the embassy.
Also, they're not moved. It's weird. Are you claiming that Miss Faraday is the Yatagarasu?
That's exact.
Mr. Faraday.
Mr. Rill, I think you've heard just not about enough out of you. Your Honor, please listen to me. I'm telling the truth. You gotta believe me.
I am very confused. In accordance with the defendant's accusation, a new prosecutor shall be called to replace Mr. Faraday. This court will be in recess until the new prosecutor is ready. Oh my God, it's been weird. It's been a while since we've seen the courtroom, hasn't it? Okay, so apparently her father was accused. Well, actually, wait. Oh God. Holy shit, we are in the 7 year. Oh my God. This is young Edgeworth. Oh no. Oh boy. Oh, this ought to be good. Okay. September 10th, 3:20 p.m. District Court, 3rd floor of lobby. Hello there, everybody. It's my 92 camera. Welcome back to Edgeworth Investigations. Oh my God, we're back to young Edgeworth, back when he was fitting the Manfred von Karma way. Before he had his all... Oh my God, we're going back to Edgeworth before he had all of his character development. Oh boy, this is gonna be weird. Fuck it, I'm gonna keep what I do with his voice. I'm not going to make him sound even snobbier. It's almost time for me to enter the courtroom. Maybe a bit more forceful. And so it is that my first assignment as prosecutor will be as a replacement for a prosecutor who has been accused by the defendant. Edgeworth.
Oh, this motherfucker. I get to see this ugly mug all over again.
Sir.
Have you read over all of the documents regarding this trial?
Yes, sir. I've memorized everything there is to know.
Very good. The paperwork for the prosecutor's substitution is just about complete. Edgeworth, always bear in mind that as your mentor, I'm Manfred von Karma. We'll accept nothing short of perfection.
I understand, sir. To have the chance to stand in court at such an early stage in my career, I am honored and proud.
As I have watched over your studies, I am giving you this very rare chance. Prove yourself. Crush the defendant's pathetic lies into oblivion.
Yes, sir. Now here's the question. Am I actually like... Oh, this is wild. Oh my. Oh boy. Oh. Ooh. This is gonna be different. This is legitimately going to be very different. Okay. That such a legendary prosecutor is watching over and judging my performance. I have to be perfect in every way. Oh my lord! No way! This is weird. This is unbelievably weird. My mentor said it was a mere check to keep it in my... It was more chick to keep it in my pocket. This badge design is said to reflect the relentlessness and discipline of law enforcement. It comes from the authority vested in us as strict prosecutors of the law, and executors of sentences much like harsh winter frosts and blazing summer days. To wear it is to identify oneself as a prosecutor, but my mentor has taught me that it's more fashionable to keep it in my pocket. This is unbelievably bizarre. Okay, profiles, let's see. Hold on. Okay, yeah, all we have is Manfred von Karma. Age 60. Damn. My mentor who has never known defeat in 35 years. The legendary prosecutor. And only 5 years later, you get beaten. Asshole.
Today's trial shall have ended in just 1 minute.
Because the defendant was picked up by the security camera, correct?
Exactly. The killer had the gall to say that he only killed because he was instructed to do so. Even more outrageous is his claim that the case prosecutor, Bern Faraday, gave the order. Ha! Faraday is such a fool. He's been cornered by his very own prey.
Sir? Are you an acquaintance of Mr. Bern Faraday?
He's a pathetic man who speaks nothing but nonsense.
Nonsense?
He once tried to explain to me a way of punishing those who cannot be brought to court.
Those who cannot be brought to court. That is nonsense, for no man is above the law.
Well, except for me.
Dear God.
Sure, nobody's above the law except for me. I mean, there are always a few exceptions. However, there is no reason to even deal with such individuals, like myself. A prosecutor is a guardian of the court, one with no obligation to outside matters.
Thus, there is no reason to deal with such individuals, I see.
Edgeworth, disgracing yourself as Faraday has will not be forgiven.
Have no fear, I will not let you down, sir. In place of the accused prosecutor Bern Faraday, I'll prove the defendant's guilt.
Very good. I've secured an hour of recess for you to prepare to do just that. Show them all the power of Von Karma.
Dear God.
So, have you achieved a firm understanding of the case?
Yes, sir. I've memorized everything that is written down in the case files.
Well, then explain the case to me. I want to see if you really know what you are talking about.
Understood. All right. A murder was committed on September 8th in front of the Cadopian embassy. The victim, Mr. Deadman. I'm leaving. You can't do that, game! The victim, Mr. Deadman, was a staff member at the embassy. Emphasis on was. Dear God. The defendant in this case, Mr. Mackerel, oh my God, was held for questioning the night of the incident as he was deemed suspicious. He was quickly placed under arrest for possession of the murder weapon, a gun. Furthermore, at the time of the murder, the great thief Yatagarasu had successfully infiltrated the Cadopian embassy as well. At first, Rel claimed that he himself was the Yatagarasu, but that he did not kill Deadman. I wonder what he expected to gain from such a desperate lie.
It's possible that he wants to go down all in the spotlight if he is found guilty. There truly is no limit to people's inanity. But I digress. Continue, Edgeworth.
Yes, sir. During the trial, the prosecution presented the security footage that captured the murder. The footage clearly showed Mr. Rel as the murderer.
The act of Mr. Rel firing the gun could be clearly seen from the visitor's gallery.
Upon seeing that, the defendant retracted his statement and admitted to the murder. I did it because I was told to. By the real Yatagarasu, Burn Faraday.
That sounds about right. However, you've forgotten one thing. Well, this may appear to simply be the murder of a Cadopian embassy staff member. People are actually referring to it as the second KG-8 incident.
Okay, so the KG-8 incident. If Phoenix got the DL6, then what the hell is the KG-8? The second KG-8 incident? I'm very sorry, sir. I fear I failed to study hard enough.
Well, even among the police, it's information that only a select few are privy to.
Could you please enlighten me, sir? Yeah, I'm kind of curious about this. This is weird. I have to... Okay, remember, this is in a different time. So, this is just a very different time now. Completely different. Sir, what do you mean by the second KG-8 incident?
In order for me to tell you that, you must first learn about the original case. Take a look at these documents.
This is a 3-year-old newspaper. KG-8 incident overview data jotted in my organizer.
You have heard of the Amano Group scandal before, correct?
Ah, right, the Amano Group. That was the people that Lance was going after. Or, I'm sorry, Lang was going after. God damn it, not Lance.
I'm not going after my own father.
Yes, I have. The secretary of Ernest Amano, the Amano Group's director, was arrested. Under suspicion of smuggling.
Correct. CCU was an employee of the Amano Group.
CCU. CC?
And the sole witness to the smuggling operation. It was she who brought the crime to light. However, Miss Yu was silenced before she could testify in court.
Wasn't a Cadopian embassy staff member arrested for the murder?
Yes. A Cadopian by the name of Manny Cochin was the suspect.
Manny Cochin. Cadopian embassy staff member Manny Cochin found not guilty. What's his relation to the smuggling ring? A shadow over the Amano Group.
However, due to lack of evidence, the case went unresolved.
Lack of evidence? The victim, I just saw the name.
Huh! If only I was in charge of the case. I would have done everything in my power to prove his guilt.
To make sure that all criminals are found guilty. My mentor really is dedicated. Oh, you poor fool. But this is young Edgeworth. It's fine, we can forgive him for this. For the most part. Only because he actually tried to improve and get better.
Faraday was the prosecutor on the case then, and he was as pathetic as ever.
Mr. Faraday was in charge of the KG-8 incident as well?
That's right. And now, once again, the victim of the case you are currently assigned to was someone who was scheduled to testify against that smuggling organization.
And just like last time, the victim was murdered right before he was to testify.
You're catching on. The victim was murdered just before his day in court against the smuggling organization.
Huh.
Events are occurring almost exactly the same way as they did in the KG-8 incident.
So that's why it is being called the second KG-8 incident.
Yes. Yet, there is one difference between the two incidents.
What would that be?
The so-called noble thief that is sending everyone into an uproar. The great thief, Yatagarasu.
Yatagarasu. I'd better find out more. If it is true that the Yatagarasu showed up at the Cadopian embassy... Oh shit, I should have been showing Von Karma the badge. He probably would get pissed off if I did, though. What could he or she have been after?
No doubt to steal any suspicious accounting records and release them publicly. Or more likely, to steal secrets from the Kadopian embassy itself. Since the item that the Yatagarasu stole from there was sent to the police.
What was it that the Yatagarasu sent to the police?
I don't know the details. Anything related to the Yatagarasu is getting the top secret treatment. Still, I find it very ironic. By returning the stolen item to the police, it was proof positive that the Yatagarasu had infiltrated the embassy on the same day the staff member was killed. Criminals have a way of incriminating themselves, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, Von Karma. That would have to be the first time the Yatagarasu has left evidence behind, correct?
Yes, indeed. If you wish to learn more about the Yatagarasu, then I suggest you ask Faraday.
Mr. Faraday?
He happens to be the prosecutor in charge of the Yatagarasu case as well.
He's the prosecutor in charge of both the KG-8 incident and the Yatagarasu case. Mr. Faraday really has a lot on his plate. Oh! Oh my god.
What is it, little girl?
You're scary, mister.
Did you need something?
I wanna trade these coins with you.
A fistful of dimes, quarters, and pennies. But it looks like you've exactly $1. Is this what you want? Oh my god.
Thanks, that's exactly what I needed.
Can that child be here to watch the trial?
How disrespectful for a child like that to be running around inside the courthouse! Does no one have respect for this country's judicial system anymore?
Pot meat kettle.
The paperwork for the prosecutor's substitution is complete.
Who are you? Do you even know how much time there is left before the trial resumes?
I'm so sorry.
I can have you mopping up this courthouse instead of protecting it in an instant!
It's no bother, sir. Not being completely prepared could prove to be a perfect handicap for me.
The proud one you are.
Yeah, considering we got some mannerisms from this man.
You had better collect the evidence from Faraday and prepare yourself. It's time for your debut, Edgeworth.
Wait, I ought to go back to Dr. Big Bill. Wait, no! I missed my opportunity to talk to those people. God bless it! Ah! September 10th, 4 p.m., District Court, Courtroom number 3. You know what? Fuck it. Hold on a minute. Alright.
This is so good. I could drink a whole gallon.
I've never heard of water that tastes that good. Oh, water's fucking delicious after, like, you know, after a hell of a workout. Maybe I'll give him a minute.
Oh, God.
Sir? Does he plan on gulping an entire reservoir dry? Probably. Excuse me, madam, but is something the matter?
I just thought someone would have brought hors d'oeuvres by now.
But this is a courthouse. It would be quite atypical to provide hors d'oeuvres here.
Are you sure? Someone poured me a fresh cup of coffee last time I was here.
What the heck does he think a courthouse is for? Probably she thinks it's for food.
Aren't these great? Daddy made all of these.
Awesome! But didn't he get fired after he made them?
Yeah. I did. I spent the same amount of money on this model as it cost to build the real thing. And my boss isn't very happy with me.
Hey, Daddy, didn't you say you built a secret mechanism inside of it?
I'll tell you about it someday when you're older.
A A secret mechanism? Maybe he installed it as payback for getting fired. It could be trouble. Now I'm curious. A model of the courthouse. It's pretty well constructed. Hands and a face? Don't tell me this thing transforms. Yet I wonder for what other purpose could they have been made? Probably to transform. A bulletin board. There are trials schedules posted on it. Trials scheduled for this week. There's only one today. There's only today's trial listed. This must be a mistake, or this country's judicial system is not working as it should. Yeah?
Mr. Prosecutor, sir!
You've got a good eye if you can tell that I'm a prosecutor with just one glance.
As there are always only prosecutors and defense attorneys in this lobby. I usually hit the mark if I guess one or the other while there is a recess.
You were only guessing? Sounds about right. Egad, what a cold stare he's giving me. However, as a disciple of Von Karma, there is no option but to win. He's good. The pattern of his cold stare rivals my own. He's sleeping while standing up? And apparently, if he's staring at you, he's sleeping with he's sleeping while he's standing up with his eyes open. That's kind of terrifying, actually.
The trial will resume shortly. Please wait a moment, sir.
I was already well aware of that. Shortly, or in a moment. Which one is it? Be specific. Let's talk to Von Karma.
So, I'm getting a weird sense of deja vu, by the way. Seriously, are we not going to talk about what the hell just happened? Seriously, that was exceptionally weird. Oh, by the way, press this button. There's going to be a time warp.
A time what? Oh. Oh shit, he wasn't kidding. There was a time warp. That was weird. September 10th, 4 p.m., District Court, Courtroom number 3. Oh boy.
Just what is going on? Why isn't Faraday here yet? How is it possible that the defense is not prepared yet either?
Bailiff, where is Mr. Faraday?
I'm not sure. I wasn't really paying attention.
Oh, hey, Judge. Which judge do we get? Ah, you must be the one Mr. Von Karma recommended.
It's probably a different judge.
Oh, my lord! Judge! It's been a while. You look good. I hear this will be your first trial. I look forward to seeing how you perform. Oh, by the way, was there someone celebrating a birthday during the recess? I could have sworn that I heard a popper going on. Party popper? Come to think of it, the other day with my grandson. Sir, it looks like the trial is about to resume. However...
Yes, it will be all but impossible to prove the witness a liar without the evidence from Faraday. What is that blasted buffoon up to?
It's an emergency, sirs!
What, is he dead?
Gumshoe!
Silence!
There shall be no yelling in this sacred hall of law, only by me. Bailiff, remove that man from this courtroom at once.
Gumshoe!
Please, wait, you have to listen to me. There's an emergency. Defendant lobby number 2, Mr. Faraday and the defendant. The two of them, they're...
Oh, they're both dead?
What?
What? What? No, seriously, what? I was kidding!
Ooh, snacks. Whoa, hello!
Stay back. Whoa, this dude!
I don't know what to do with this guy.
No one's allowed in the crime scene. Period.
Just who does this oddball think he is?
This is becoming quite the hotspot.
Isn't she Mr. Rail's defense attorney?
Hey, you! No running in the hallway, pal!
And who are you to tell me what to do? I'll never find out what's going on like this. It's time for some civil discourse. My boy. Young Gumshoe. And you are?
Who? Me? Hey, pal. It's common courtesy to tell someone your name first before asking theirs.
Ah. Point taken. My name is Miles Edgeworth. I am a district prosecutor.
Prosecutor? I've never seen a prosecutor as young as you, pal.
I've told you my name. Now would you mind telling me yours?
Detective Dick Gumshoe. And just recently, I achieved my dream of becoming a detective.
So we're literally seeing you the moment you became a detective. Hot damn.
More than a dream. It's what I was born to do. Wait, maybe I should check and make sure I'm not really in some crazy dream first.
The detective is entirely too excited to be at a murder scene. Listen, it's my boy. It's my precious baby boy. Okay? I don't care. You know what? I'm pretty sure the whole fandom has adopted this boy. I will join them and I will adopt a Gumshoe. So, Detective Gumshoe, would you mind telling me what you know about the incident?
You know that I don't have to tell you anything, right?
I know that. But it would behoove you to fill me in on what you know.
Wow. You're a proud one for such a youngster, aren't you? Well, anyway, Detective Bad is the one in charge.
Bad?
So, you're just gonna have to ask him for all the details, okay? As for me, how's guarding the door to defendant lobby number 2?
Defendant lobby number 2. So you were the guard detail. Did you notice anything strange while you were on duty?
Well, I freaked out when I heard a gunshot and then I kinda froze.
You're a detective and measly gunshots scared you that much? Then again, I can hardly claim to not know what it's like to hear one at close range. Yes. So you understand, Edgeworth.
Then, Detective Bad came running to the scene. We went to lobby number 2 together and both men were lying there dead.
Is that everything?
Yeah, that's it. I was in the hallway the whole time, but I didn't hear a single peep of a struggle.
Interesting. Other than the gunshot, he didn't hear a single sound of commotion. Interesting. Alright. Appreciated. Now, Gumshoe. I'm legally obligated to present. You mentioned that you've only recently become a detective, did you not?
You got it. I'm a brand spanking new detective.
So that means you've probably never seen a real prosecutor's badge, right? If you so desire to see one, I just might be able to make your day.
No, you don't have to go through the trouble, pal, because a real man has a police badge. And someday, I'm gonna become an ace detective, just like Detective Bad.
I think this is the first time I've ever heard of this detective.
Did I say something wrong, pal?
Forget it, detective. Aw. Do you know anything about the KG incident? Do you have any insight on this, Detective Gumshoe?
Well, as a detective, I'd rather see something that is actually related to the case, pal.
And here I thought this was related enough. Okay, fine. Wait a minute. So, you were guarding the door to lobby number 2 at the time of the crime, correct?
Yeah, that's right. And I'll have you know, not even a single ant got by me.
Really? Are you sure that not even a single ant slipped in?
Well, well, I mean, I guess if we're talking about slipped in, then maybe a frog or something did.
It would appear that my point also completely slipped by you, Detective. It's okay, we love you. You will never... You know what? I wonder how big Gumshoe's fan base is. Now, who are you? Do you have a minute? You know, I'm not really into talking to people I don't know. Especially at a time like this. I know I'm giving her like a deeper, lot of heart voice. I apologize for not introducing myself before bothering you. My name is Miles Edgeworth. I was to take Mr. Faraday's place in court. Edgeworth, huh? Never heard of you. So Faraday's substitute is a newbie, I'll have you know, madam, that I studied under Manfred von Karma. Do not take me for some naive novice. Do not take me for some naive novice. So you're a student of Von Karma? I should have... Those clothes are a dead giveaway. Stop right there! These are the garments of one who gallantly presents the facts. Oh my god. Thanks for the great laugh, but try not to make me laugh so much, okay? I wasn't trying to do anything of the sort! Just kidding, I was just goofing around. By the way, do you know who I am? My name is Callisto U. Callisto U? Callisto U. Callisto U. Callisto U. Aye. If you're telling the truth, then you're about to go head to head in court. But of course, I have heard much about you, Miss U. Of course I've heard so much about you. You're a regular Shakespeare. Did I say something funny? She's not used to this kind of speech. Okay. I'd like you to update me on the situation. I don't really know anything. Why don't you try talking to those detectives over there? If that's the case, then why are you here? Oh, I like her. What's so funny? It's just that the way you speak is so tactless. The person I was going against in court until only a little while ago was just murdered. It's not like I could go back into the courtroom and pretend as though nothing happened. That's a good point. I apologize for asking such an insensitive question. It's fine, don't worry about it. Well, I mean, at least it seems like there's no hard feelings. Now this guy, there's really only one voice I think I can fit with him. Excuse me, but who are you?
Detective Tyrell Bad. Homicide.
I was informed of the situation and came as quickly as possible. So, how did you arrive and inspect the body before me?
They requested for me to testify in the trial. Plain and simple.
Mr. Faraday requested that you be here?
God, this guy looks fucking amazing.
I'm not even entirely sure I should even go with this voice.
Maybe something a little bit deeper. I think I might just do that. I've already contacted HQ about this situation. I've got nothing to say to you, kid.
Kid? I'm Mr. Faraday's substitute in today's trial. Therefore, I insist that you update me on the situation. I can't back down here, and I have a right to know.
Do I need to teach you a thing or two about how to talk to adults, kid?
Is he threatening me? Oh god, is he going for his gun? just a mirror? How dare he trick me like that?
Faraday was stabbed to death with some kind of blade, and he had a gun in his hand. The other man, a Mr. Mackerel, was shot and killed. He was found holding a bloody knife in his hand. In this hand.
Was there anyone else who went into defended lobby number 2?
Yeah, that big lug over there. His name's Gumshoe.
Huh?
He was in charge of guarding the place. He's claiming that no one else entered the room.
If that's the case, then they must have killed each other, correct? They must have killed each other. Sorry.
You might want to redo that line. Maybe.
Such impudence! This guy is really testing my patience. Man, this guy looks amazing. Why was I not informed that you were going to testify in court?
Homicide's on my only gig. The Yatagarasu case is also one of my assignments.
So you were called upon to comment on the Yatagarasu's characteristics. In order to assess if Mr. Faraday really was the Yatagarasu or not.
Well, looks like you just might have a brain after all in that head of yours, son.
Son? I'm not your son, Pops!
I'm not your pop, son.
Mr. Yu, Miss Yu! There's someone here who wishes to see you.
Who is it?
A Cadopian embassy staff member by the name of Manny Kochin.
What? What's going on? Detective Bad and Miss Yu's moods just changed all of a sudden. Wait a minute. Oh, Manny Kochin! Wait a second. Wasn't Manny Kochin... I'll be right there.
Oh boy. It's nice to see you again, Miss Yu.
Why are you here? I have no desire to ever see you again.
Now. Actually, would you mind stepping outside for a brief chat?
Fine. Let's go.
Edgeworth, what the hell are you doing? Bad. Von Karma. It's been a long time. I knew you would show up.
I just realized I screwed myself here with my voices here.
Well, you have to do this, as well as doing this. As well as doing this.
Like, goddamn, like, seriously, Bad seems like one of those hard-boiled kind of guys where, like, I mean, aside from the fact that he's got a cigarette, he probably just has, like, one of those deep, gravelly voices. The ones that are just so satisfying to listen to, oddly. They're like one of those odd, it's like one of those odd noises that are just kind of really nice to listen to. Or is that just me?
You usually do when the Yatagarasu is involved, and I see this case is no exception.
Do you know Detective Bad, sir?
Yes. He's like an old bloodhound that never leaves the scene of a crime. If only he would get a promotion and move on. It's the crime scene where detective is most useful and effective. It's not like I don't know that. Moving on though, Bad. The man that I just passed by. Was he not the suspect from the KG-8 incident?
So I was right.
Just what is that man doing wandering around here? That Faraday. I can't believe he let such an easy catch get away. Imbecile! I would have proved his guilt in 3 minutes. Von Karma, I think you've said enough for now. It's in poor taste to speak like that about the departed. Very well. Back on topic. I'm placing Edgeworth in charge of the investigation here.
Objection!
No way!
And baby Francisca!
Oh my god! Oh my god, look at her! Fucking look at her!
Papa, how can you place him in charge?
Francisca, what are you doing here?
I'm here for summer vacation. What else?
I'm trying to with a higher pitched voice for that one. Franziska von Karma. So she is here on vacation from Germany. She is the daughter of Manfred von Karma and a student of his, who's also junior to me.
You're the one who's junior to me, and don't you forget it.
You're not conveniently avoiding the bar examination, are you?
Ha! If you were able to pass, then I'll have absolutely no trouble at all.
It is really good seeing like some of these familiar characters, but in a different time. It's great.
I'll never allow myself to lose to you. Never!
Why does she always have to be this competitive?
Anyway, Papa, are you really assigning Miles Edgeworth to cover the case?
Yes, I am. Why do you ask?
Well, you know, I'm close to becoming a prosecutor myself. And I am 100% confident that I can do a better job than him.
That's just like Franziska. She has no problem bad-mouthing someone right in front of them.
But... yeah. These two will be conducting the investigation.
Oh my god, I got Franziska as a partner in this.
What? You want me to let both of these kids loose on the crime scene? This is a perfect opportunity for them to work on their prosecutorial skills. A crime scene is not a place for children to be messing around in. I'm the one with the authority over this crime scene, Bad! And I will not tolerate complaining. Edgeworth, Franziska, I leave this case to the two of you.
Understood, sir.
Yes, Papa.
I'll go take care of the paperwork now. Remember, I'll accept nothing but a perfect report from the both of you. Do not disappoint me.
My throat's...
Hold up, Von Karma. I still haven't agreed to this. I feel like I just kind of witnessed something that I probably should not have been around. Sorry about that.
Miles Edgeworth.
It's been quite some time, Franziska.
This will be the perfect chance for us to see which of us is truly worthy of the Von Karma name.
Would it kill you to at least say hello?
Long time no see.
Very good.
Just because you became a prosecutor first doesn't mean you can act all proud.
Bah! She hasn't changed a bit.
Miles Edgeworth! As I was saying, we shall see which one of us is worthy of the Von Karma name.
I mean...
Not for crying out loud. I've been reduced to a babysitter.
It looks like Mr. Von Karma was successful in convincing the detective. That's just like him. He never fails. Now, I'd appreciate it if you could quickly run me through the facts, Detective Bad.
You're better off checking things out on your own.
Very well. Seems like getting help from Detective Bad will be a most arduous task. Yeah. Oh, shit. September 10th, 4:15 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 2. Shit, we're just... Oh my lord! Is the only real explanation that they killed each other simultaneously? Well, they both landed relatively too easily, you know? I don't know. I just don't think that's... No. There's gotta be something more to this. There's gotta be something more to this.
Miles Edgeworth! You should listen to someone until they are finished talking.
What are you talking about?
I'll only say it one more time. This is a competition to see who is truly worthy of the Von Karma name.
A competition?
The person that figures out the truth first wins.
So the person who doesn't discover the truth is a dishonor to the name.
Exactly! I don't care that you became a prosecutor before me. I simply refuse to hear any more foolish things coming from your foolishly foolish mouth.
Fine. Whatever makes you happy.
Can I take that as you accepting my challenge?
Once again, whatever makes you happy.
Ha! Well then, let's begin the investigation, shall we? I'm going to find the perfect evidence and prettily present it like the professional I am.
Competing to discover the truth behind a crime. How delightfully childish. Dear Lord.
Oh, fuck. You kids over here, hold it.
Kid?
Ha! Serves you right, Miles. He just called you a kid.
He just called you a kid!
I said kids, kid.
How dare you call me a kid as well?
I'll do what I please, and I won't allow you to cause a ruckus on my crime scene. Hey, big guy. You're going to watch over these two. Yes, sir. Detective Bad, sir. Now, do what I say from now on, kids, okay?
You'd better not get in our way, Scruffy.
Oh my god, there's the origin of Scruffy. Oh my god. She called him that when she was a kid and she still calls him that.
You'll feel the bite of my whip if you do.
You, prosecutor boy. Let's get your investigation started already, all right?
Great. Now even that detective is treating me like a child.
All right, it's time to get investigated. Get a move on, prosecutor boy.
My name is Miles Edgeworth. And if you were to call me prosecutor boy one more time, it will be my duty as a prosecutor to look into your monthly salary.
What? And what would you do with my salary after you saw how much it was?
That's up to you now, isn't it?
Really? Well, sounds good, pal.
He's so naive. All right. Investigation time. Detective Bad, may I have a word with you?
What is it?
It appears that both a knife and a gun were used as murder weapons.
Yeah, it does.
That leads us to our first question of the investigation. Where do the men acquire the weapons? Like, isn't there some sort of security that prevents people from bringing weapons into, like, a crime scene, or to a courthouse?
The gun was inside of Faraday's bag. It was a piece of evidence that was presented in the trial earlier today. It was used to kill the Cadopian Embassy staff member.
Yeah, fuck it. It's fucking with my throat. I am tearing my throat out here, just trying to do 3 gruff voices at once. Okay, so we're swapping to the Oishi for right now. Well, you guys let me know what you would prefer to hear.
But I never heard anything about the knife. Mr. Rao was being held by the police. There's no way he could have brought it in. Which means it's possible that Faraday had the knife on him from the start as well.
Could it have been a piece of evidence that had yet to be presented? But then, why doesn't Detective Bad know about it? Wait, what if... It's possible that Mr. Faraday brought the knife in under the guise of prosecutorial evidence. He could have then brought it out and attacked Mr. Rail with it.
Huh. Maybe you've got a brain in there after all, kid.
Is he going to treat me like a child forever?
It looks like Mr. Faraday attacked Mr. Rel first, and then counterattacked. That's the only logical conclusion you can draw from a scene like this.
Not yet. I feel that it's much too early to be drawing conclusions already. I must first find conclusive evidence, so as to ensure the honor of the Von Karma name. There we go, now we can investigate.
Whoa!
What is it, Detective Gumshoe?
My TV at home is so tiny compared to this one, pal.
Then perhaps you should purchase a more normal-sized television like this one.
Oh, let me see here. Whoa, this thing is huge. What? And way too noisy.
You're the noisy one, Scruffy.
Don't touch it. You'll get your fingerprints all over it. But I didn't touch it. Preservation of the crimes is the foundation of detective work.
The foundation, Sounds like something the rookie here needs to shore up on. Shore up? Detective Bad, do you have any thoughts on the case?
Faraday and Rel. Looks like they killed each other to me. Although, there are a few things that just don't seem right.
And what would they be?
Why don't you try thinking on your own first before you bother me, boy?
What? Not been downgraded as boy? The poor boy's been downgraded to boy. What's next? Child? Sprog? I've never used that word before, but I've heard it used to describe child. The window was open and... there's a fresh flowery scent in the air.
Ugh, the flowers in the garden down there are so gross and ghastly.
Do you think maybe you could try offering something useful for a change?
Well, at least there's no way someone escaped through this window, pal. They wouldn't wake up and smell the flowers after a fall from the 3rd floor.
Are you willfully ignoring the fact that there are also iron bars on the windows? Well, yeah, there's iron bars. Sure, that might be enough to, you know, not be enough to kind of squeeze through, but if there's no evidence that there's gunshot residue on the hand of the gun that was used to fire, like, if there's no evidence that the gun that's on the body fired, then there's potential that somebody shot through those bars. Just saying.
Yeah, I guess there's that too. Either way, no one could get through these windows, right?
They thought of everything when they were designing this courthouse. Very nice. Quite.
There's some stuff in the bag, pal.
I suppose this was Mr. Faraday's bag. It's probably the trial evidence I was supposed to collect from him.
This is the evidence? Ah, I better not touch it. I'll leave prints on it.
Do you just not pay attention to anything you do? There are some plastic bags stacked up on the table. There's a tea set too, but there doesn't seem to be any sign of a disturbance.
Yep, table's all neat and tidy.
So there was no struggle, potentially.
Maybe they were super quiet in their scuffle? After all, I didn't hear anything from out in the hallway, you know.
Maybe the plastic bags scattered on the floor are throwing us off? Maybe. Tea set. There are some... Oh, just gonna say this again, okay. This decorative plant's foliage is quite nice. It's actually soothing to be around it. Perhaps I should purchase one for my room. Yeah, maybe you should. Hey, Francisca.
Ah, I see.
Did you figure something out?
This is a competition, Miles, and as such, I'd appreciate it if you didn't talk to me.
As you wish.
Fine.
Alright, let me talk to the guy over... I can't talk to the guy over here. Fine, I'll look at the bodies. It looks like Mr. Faraday fell on top of Mr. Rel. And there's blood on the bag. Dear God!
Okay.
At first glance, it seems like they must have killed each other. However...
Using logic, the only logical conclusion is... Aha!
What was that outburst for?
My detective's instinct just hit me real hard. It was Mr. Rell that fell first. See?
You don't need a detective's instinct for that. God damn it, it's common sense. But I suppose we won't know much more than that until after I examine the bodies. Of course. Okay.
Looks like Mr. Faraday died while holding the gun in his right hand. So he shot
Mr. Rell and then fell on top of him while still gripping onto the gun?
I guess that does seem kind of strange, huh? I mean, why would Mr. Faraday know how to fire a gun?
It's not exactly rocket science. Even I know how to pull a trigger. Although, I doubt I'll ever need to use one. Jesus Christ, the dialogue, oh my god!
I hope I never have to fire a gun either, pal. But it sure does look cool to hold a gun in your hands.
It appears that the police's screening procedures need a thorough review. Anyway, I should jot down some notes about the handgun in Mr. Faraday's hand. Alright. Gun. First he killed a Kotobian embassy staff member, then he was murdered himself.
This guy wasn't exactly an angel, you know.
Oh? What makes you say that?
Well, he's been hauled into the precinct several times for theft and assault, pal. So, yeah, he's definitely the type to have committed a murder or two.
So he's got a bad history. Well, he did admit to killing Mr. Deadman.
Hey, good point, pal. I knew my detective's intuition was telling me something.
Detective's intuition?
Yep. You know about it? It's a special feeling that all
We don't have time for this conversation right now. Let's return to the investigation. Okay, Mr. Faraday next. Mr. Faraday, how ironic it is for him to lose his life in a courthouse.
Yeah, why did it have to be like this? I don't know what to say. I can't believe this happened while I was on watch, pal.
Rather than beating yourself up, you should spend your time continuing the investigation. Didn't you become a detective in order to solve crimes?
Yeah.
Then get back to work. Find out the cause of his murder.
Right. I'm on it, pal.
That is... I mean, at least he's kind of like... Come on. I'm an asshole early on, but I can still tell you to actually try. Why are there plastic bags scattered all around? They use plastic bags to kind of put in evidence so that way no outside factors can disturb whatever, like fingerprints and shit like that, or follicles, hair follicles, dust, stuff like that, so that way it doesn't interfere with the evidence, I would say. Also, considering that bag has a lot of blood in it, I can immediately assume that maybe that knife had some initial blood on it, which is why it was in the bag.
Those bags are for keeping evidence safe, pal.
I know that much, detective.
You sure are good at this stuff, aren't you, pal?
Normally I'd be happy when someone compliments me, but when it's this guy... Anyway, could these plastic bags be evidence of a fight between the two men? Let's try. Let's see. I have this feeling that I may need to connect these two because we have one that says that there is a sign of struggle, but at the same time, you know, there's something not right here. So, just, No, hold on. Let's see. Before I start combining logic, I need to make sure I get everything out of here. So I already examined Faraday, examined the gun, examined the plastic bags, examined that. Let me see if there's anything changed if I pick them up. Oh!
Looks like Mr. Rell died with the knife in his hand.
There's some blood stuck on it.
Then he must have used this as a weapon. Yep, no doubt about it.
Was Mr. Faraday carrying this on his personage? Did he bring this as a piece of evidence for the trial? Or did he bring it with a very different intention in mind? I should jot some notes down about it. Alright, so we got the knife noted down. Good. What else? I should probably turn the TV off. The TV has been left on.
Why are you looking at me like that? It wasn't me. I didn't touch anything.
Gumshoe, you do know what will happen to you if you touch something again. Right?
I won't touch anything. I won't even go anywhere near the TV, sir. And you, get back to your investigation, all right?
I was planning to do so anyway. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna try out the idea that I had. I don't think it'll work, but I want to try. It did connect! Okay, I was right. Okay, good. There was a very tidy pile of plastic bags on the table. And yet, a portion of them wound up scattered on the floor as well. It's not likely that the ones on the floor were knocked over during the struggle. In which case, might there not be another explanation as to how they got there?
Another reason?
I believe it's possible that the blood on the outside of the bag is related somehow. Oh, it's on the outside, I see.
Oh, please get that blood away from me, pal.
Detective Gumshoe, whose blood is on this bag?
Yeah, hold on. Let me ask the lab guy.
Alright, please hurry.
Wait till you get a load of this, pal. It's Mr. Faraday's. Oh, and the technician said they didn't find anything else on or in the bag either.
Okay, so that's Mr. Faraday's blood. It would appear that this bag is a very important piece of evidence.
Okay, if you say so, I'll leave it in your hands, pal.
Alright, so this has his blood in it, huh? Noted! Alright.
Yeah, pal? Oh, I'm so excited, pal. This is my first real crime scene. Let's get investigating.
Detective Gumshoe? I thought investigations were supposed to be conducted in a calm, collected manner.
What do you know about how to run an investigation, little boy prosecutor?
I know that at the very least I have a greater grasp than you of what happened here.
Why, you don't know any more than me, pal. Look, you just stay behind me, boy, and out of the way.
Ironic coming from a guy that's been a step behind me the entire case. Oh my lord. You two are gonna be the weirdest compatriots in the future, I promise you that.
This is my first time setting foot inside the courthouse. Who would have thought it'd be my first case as a detective? Well, you know, I get the feeling I'll be coming here a lot more in the future. Might meet a dude in a blue suit with spiky hair.
What? As a suspect, detective?
Oh, of course not, pal. Anyway, this lobby's actually pretty luxurious. I mean, for a defendant's lobby, it's got a pretty big TV. Oh, and there's that tea set on the table over there. Bet you didn't know that I like to drink tea. Wow, this room really is decked out.
You like to drink tea? Ah, what kind? I prefer Earl Grey and just simple black tea as well. Although chamomile is a wonderful substitute as well.
Well, if it means spending time in here, maybe being a suspect isn't such a bad thing after all.
Do not say that! I'm beginning to suspect that leaving this detective in charge of anything might be bad. But he is right. This room is rather well furnished. And somewhere in this room the truth is slumbering. It's time to find out and give it a wake-up call. So, Detective Gumshoe.
Yeah, what is it, boy?
The people who call me that detective is far from disqualified. I want to ask you about how the investigation is proceeding.
We'll see for yourself, pal. Ho-ho! Do I do a great to bad or what?
Has this man not a professional bone in his body? Very well, then I will inspect the victim's bodies myself. Uh-huh. Well, I've already looked at it, so... what else can I do? Can I, like, flip the bodies over or some shit like that? Because looking at the back's not really helping me out here. So saying the same thing. Nothing new. What the? Hey. What the hell's that? What is that? Is that like a coloration problem, or what is that? Oh my... Okay, that was a lot hard. Okay, fuck. I didn't know that was down there. God damn. That's... Damn. That's a blink and a miss sort of thing.
His hand is all black down here. See? I wonder what it could be.
I don't know, a burn mark or something like that? If you look closely, this blotting pattern resembles an ink stain. Why the fuck is there an ink stain on his left hand?
An ink stain?
Yes. I usually get ink on my own hand when I use my feather pen.
A feather pen? I've never seen one before. Sure you aren't just making it up, pal?
No, feather pens are real. Mr. Rel's cause of death was from being shot, correct?
Well, that's what we think, but it's hard to tell with him lying face down.
Death is bad enough, but it's truly lamentable that someone would try to hide the truth.
Are you sure they're trying to hide something?
I can't confirm Mr. Rel's cause of death with his body positioned like this. Detective Bad, I'd like to examine the bodies in further detail, if possible.
What's this? You're not able to form a theory with them the way they are?
I believe an examination of the bodies is vital to finding the perfect evidence, don't you?
I suppose you do have a point. Well, hurry up and get on with it.
Labby.
Sorry, there we go.
That's what I was looking for.
Yes, sir. We've taken enough photos of the scene, sir.
And there you have it.
Do you not approve?
Of course not.
What?
Investigation of a crime scene is the work of a detective, so don't touch a thing. Hey, big fella, turn over the bodies for me, will ya? Okay. Please forgive me, Mr. Faraday, sir.
Oh, I'm sure he won't curse you beyond the grave. You'll be fine, Gumshoe.
Gumshoe, do not get emotionally involved. Remember, you're a detective. Yes, sir. Understood, pal.
Oh boy, here we go. Let's see what we got. One's a stab wound and the other's a gunshot wound. Oh boy, okay. Well, there's a pen right there. That or a very fancy, weird, circular, pen-shaped bone. There's a knife wound and
There's a nice wound in his chest here, see?
I wonder if the wound matches the knife Mr. Rail is holding.
Labby,
Yes, sir. Verifying now, sir.
make it quick.
From the look of things, one could deduce that the knife Mr. Rail is holding is what killed Mr. Faraday. Okay. The fountain pen. Now, there's something in his breast pocket. It's a fountain pen. Fountain pen in Mr. Faraday's pocket has an especially nice nib. Oddly specific, but okay.
Hey, you know, I always keep a pencil behind my ear.
I used to do the same thing, but then I started wearing glasses and then the pencil would fall off.
or my glasses would be crooked. I never did figure out how to do it properly.
It's because Detective Bat is always telling me, you should always write your name on everything you own.
Yes. Somehow you do strike me as quite a forgetful individual. It looks like Mr. Faraday was stabbed with this knife that Mr. Rail is holding.
Ouch!
What's wrong, Detective?
My stomach's starting to hurt from just thinking about being stabbed.
Oh, you have the same problem I do. Just keep your mind on the case, all right? Okay, and then the gunshot wound. Shot in the heart.
And you're to blame.
I'm not singing that line.
It takes some guts to fire a gun in the courthouse. I mean, I've been a detective for a whole week and I still haven't fired a single round yet.
There aren't any burn marks on his clothes. That must mean...
Wait, burn marks?
A round grows very hot as it is discharged from a firearm. Therefore, burn marks are usually left when the shot is fired from point-blank range. Ergo, Mr. Rell must have been shot from at least a yard or two away. And I'm pretty sure that's not enough room in here. Well, I mean, maybe. Okay.
You sure do know a bunch of neat stuff for your age, pal.
Apparently, this detective has as much common knowledge as your everyday marsupial. Meme? Let us now try to understand how the two men died. First, Mr. Faraday took the gun and the knife out from today's trial evidence. Then he aimed the gun at Mr. Rail and fired. However, Mr. Rail managed to grab the knife and counter Mr. Faraday while being shot. Then the two men fell together where they stood. That is my theory in any case.
What a crazy way to go!
Still, something about that explanation just doesn't seem right. Well, turn over whatever his fucking name is, Mr. Oh my god, whatever his name is, I forgot it already. Turn him over, and if there's a gunshot exit wound, or who knows, maybe an entry wound, then something else is going on. I believe I now have a firmer grasp on what happened here. Do you? Lobby window number 2. Ink stain. Here we go. That splotch on Mr. Faraday's hand. I wonder if it might be the ink from his fountain pen.
Oh, let's ask the lab guy.
Detective Gumshoe! I confirm that the substance on Mr. Faraday's hand is the ink from his fountain pen.
I see. Good work. You know, I've always wanted to say that, even if it was just one time in my life.
It's fine, buddy. If Mr. Faraday wrote with his fountain pen in his left hand, I think it's fair to assume he was left-handed. Then why would he have a gun in his right hand? It appears that Mr. Faraday's pen is very important to our case as well.
Okay, if you say so, pal.
Again? Well, actually, there might be more to this as well. Mr. Faraday's fountain pen. Evidence discovered in defendant lobby number 2.
Well, I guess there's not much left to investigate, huh? They really did kill each other.
No, there's definitely more. No, we can't conclude that quite yet. Thank you. There's still something I find very peculiar here. The theory that they simply killed one another is too simplistic in this case. In fact, there is actually a contradiction that shows there is another possibility.
No way, pal. Really?
I suppose I will just have to show you the conflict in this crime scene. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking... I won't suspect until the carpenter... There's gotta be more. Anyway, I have an idea. Like, seriously, like, okay, so... I had it literally on the tip of my tongue. It was, it's something we literally talked about, how he's, like, left-handed. Oh! Duh! I figured it out. I deduce the gun, and then I present the pen. Because if we can assume that he's left-handed with the pen, why would he use the gun in his right hand? So, here we go. Yes, this spot is definitely connected to the evidence that I hold. Okay, let me see. Does it say this with the... Yes! Used by the left-handed Faraday. Here it is. Now we come face to face with the contradiction I spoke of, and it is this. Mr. Faraday uses left-hand to write with his fountain pen. Ergo, he is left-handed. And yet, the handgun is in his right hand. Don't you find it odd that the left-handed Mr. Faraday would hold the gun in his right hand? That, lady and gentlemen, is the great contradiction haunting this crime scene.
Hey, you're right, pal. That does seem kind of strange.
Ergo, why I am assuming that there is a potential way that this window is going to be super important, because you could potentially fire a bullet through the bars of said window.
But how could something like that happen?
The facts add up to one conclusion and one alone. Someone else put the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand after he died.
Someone else?
Plastic bag scattered on the floor and a gun in the wrong hand. I sense the presence of a shadowy figure behind this case.
A person of vile intent who is serious about keeping the truth from us.
Yeah! I did a thing!